Let's start with introducing ourselves, because here we are, two film critics talking about Polish cinema. Murtaza Ali Khan, I'm really glad that you are joining me. Tell us a bit about where you're from and what you do in there around cinema.
So I'm primarily a film critic and a film curator, and I am from New Delhi, India. And I've been covering cinema for about a decade and a half. And in the recent years, I've been on the jury of the National Film Awards, which are the most prestigious film awards in India. And I've also been on the selection committee for various other festivals and juries, because it's all about taking it further beyond while you can.
And when you are a film critic, you do a lot of things. It's not like mainly writing or talking on TV about films, but also traveling, going to film festivals.
Correct.
And we meet in Gdynia at the Polish Film Festival. So I have a little quiz for you.
Oh.
Name 3 things that come to your mind when you think about Polish cinema.
Decalogue.
Oh, okay, Kieślowski.
Andrzej Wajda.
Andrzej Wajda, yes.
And definitely Mr. Jones, because that's a film I recently introduced, Agnieszka Holland's film, which I introduced at the India Habitat Center a few months back.
So 3 great Polish directors connected with cinema from years before. Only one of them, Agnieszka Holland, still working on films. Here in Gdynia we can see her new film, Green Border. Yes. So it's like classics that you mentioned. And what about your perception of Polish cinema? Because classics are one thing, but contemporary Polish cinema, you mentioned a lot of directors that you already explored, but what about the Polish ones? Are they close to your heart?
See, classics is what my love for Polish cinema finds its roots in, because it started with Kieślowski and Wajda and all these amazing classics. But recent times, a lot of films have appealed to me.
What about your country? You say you are based in New Delhi and you work in there. If you ever go to cinema, can you see a Polish film and people are interested in exploring cinema from far away country?
We had Cold War, and we had other films also, probably the ones that get nominated for Oscars. They're always there. And then we have retrospectives of Kieślowski and Wajda, so that, and our festivals, the Goa Festival, for example, is the biggest film festival in India. It has always invited a lot of Polish masters. Zanussi has been there. Kieślowski came in the 80s, right after he made Camera Buff, Amateur, before Decalogue. I think Polish cinema has a lot of appeal, non-film goers, I feel need greater exposure, but film enthusiasts, they have great understanding of Polish cinema and they already know almost everything about the classic Polish cinema. And now that I am here, I'm sure, I will be able to spread greater awareness about some of these amazing contemporary films that I'm watching at the festival.
Yeah, because the classics are the classics, and the new cinema connected with also like European cinema nowadays is something else. Cinema is like a window to some idea behind the country also that the film was made in. But I'm really curious, when you came here, you were like, oh, it's like in those movies, or something is different? What's the vibe that you get from Poland and also from the festival that we are meeting at?
See, a lot of people in India, when they look at cinema from the West, for them Hollywood is really, this big industry. But I feel that Polish cinema offers so much more than, a typical Hollywood film. Of course, there are some very good filmmakers in Hollywood, whom I really greatly admire. But often, those films can be commercial and they can be formulaic. But what I'm seeing here in Poland and what I've seen over the years through my exposure to Polish cinema is the kind of diverse subjects that are on offer, the realistic ideas that are getting explored, and the significance of day-to-day, life, which always comes to the fore. Because at the end of the day, the common man, the common life is also equally important. So this is one thing that I've always seen in Polish cinema, that how the local becomes the universal. If I pick up any good film, from a Polish master, say somebody like a Kieślowski, it was deeply rooted in Polish culture. At the same time, the themes that he is exploring are very universal. So I think that's what makes Polish cinema stand out, that even though it is very deeply rooted in something that may be very locally important or relevant, but it speaks to the larger existence of humanity.
Yeah, like Kieślowski and Wajda and some other directors were always focused on the people's psychology and the struggle that people have. But is there a brighter side of Polish cinema that you like maybe from those new films that you've seen recently that are maybe more focused on outside of human psyche, or maybe some genre cinema, because of course Polish directors also tried that? Any notions on that?
Yeah, actually, I'm enjoying a lot of new films that I'm watching here. I've seen Under the Volcano. I just came out of Two Women, and I'm also going to be watching Green Border, tomorrow morning, hopefully. And other than that, as I told you, I watched Cold War, which was a very, very interesting film for me. Though it was dated, a period film, but it was also revisionist in a way that it was able to speak to our times also. And then I told you about Zima, which was very exciting as a film. So right now, I really have greater excitement for what Polish cinema is offering now, because, it has such a strong legacy. But the contemporary filmmakers are not just trying to build upon that legacy. Yes, they are, but they are also open to exploring new ideas in new dimensions. And at this festival alone, there is so much to offer. Like, for example, the perspective section, that really has opened up a new...
regard,
that has really opened up a new dimension for younger filmmakers, younger talent. I think that is really, really very important.
That sounds amazing. Thank you for your input and for your perspective on Polish cinema. I'm super happy that there are so many Polish directors that are recognized in India. Thank you once again. And have
Absolutely,
a great
my
festival.
pleasure for having me, and I look forward to watching more films and taking more ideas and taking more inspirations, for conversations in the Indian cinema space as well.
Thank you.